Salutations friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and a review of a fragrance from Xerjoff, and it's Ibitira. Now I've already opened this and worn this, but I figured I'd also do a little bit of an unboxing so you guys could see the presentation, because the presentation for Xerjoff is absolutely outstanding. So if you'd like to know my thoughts on this fragrance and see a little unboxing, then keep watching. Guys are watching this is my birthday fragrance. Today when this video goes live, it's my birthday. Hooray! I am 33 at this point. So I had contemplated getting a few bottles for myself or getting one really ridiculously expensive bottle. I did get something else that's fragrance related, but that will be in a later video. But I decided to get just one fragrance to commemorate 33. And mostly because when I was picking out this fragrance, I wanted to add something to my collection from a house that I didn't already have any fragrances from. So I was looking at, fragrances from Michele, fragrances from Amouage, Maison Francis Guerlain, a variety of different ones. O'Hara was a contender, but it was a little bit more than I wanted to spend. But Xerjoff is a brand that I have experienced and smelled a lot of their fragrances, and I have to say that they've got to have some of the highest quality juice I have ever experienced. Fragrances of theirs that might not be very imaginative, still the quality and the balance and just everything about it is perfect. And it is a house I've wanted to kind of start collecting. So I figured this would be a great way to kind of dip my toes in and get one of the fragrances that I had sampled before in the past and really loved. And so I picked out Ibitira. Now, if you're familiar, Iris is way more expensive and considered to be one of the most perfect iris scents ever. And I've been kind of on a little bit of an iris, almost like a purple floral kick recently. But I really love this one because it reminds me so much of kind of a lot of the fragrances out there like Shalimar and Chanel No. 5, but it has a really unique take on it, and I'm going to get into that when I do the review. So let's do the unboxing. So this is the box, not the plain box that it comes with. I got the 3.4 ounce bottle specifically because of the presentation. So I'll show you guys. Here is the box, and the this is part of the Shooting Stars line. And so you open it, and then right here it has a little plate. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to not show you my gross fingers. And it's numbered. So this is number 100 of 61,486. And so this is the paper. It's kind of like a cloth. And then here is the bottle. Now, the coolest thing about this particular one is that it comes with, and let me just close this bottle really quickly. It comes with this little pouch, this little pooch, and inside is a piece of a meteorite. I'm silly, I know. And an authenticity card. So that's kind of like why I wanted to get the bigger bottle. I didn't know if the this 1.7 ounce came with this, but I thought that if I was going to get myself a birthday present, I was going to get myself something special, and I thought this was ridiculously special. This is really special. I'm really excited, and the presentation is just gorgeous. I love Xerjoff bottles. In any of the series of their fragrances, I'm always just looking at them and admiring them. They're just gorgeous. So this definitely does not disappoint. Here is the fragrance. Here's the juice. I've worn this a few times. It's got a nice, heavy, very secure cap. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's my little unboxing of this fragrance. Now let me review it for you guys. I'll start off by talking about the notes in this fragrance. The top notes are lemon, violet, and orange flower. The heart notes are rose, neroli, and iris. And the base notes are cedarwood, Haitian vetiver, vanilla, and bourbon. Now what I was talking about before, how the reason why I chose this one is this reminds me very much of Shalimar and Chanel No. 5, is that it has that like rich, beautiful, floral, aldehydic, is that the right word to put it? Just sophisticated, elegant vibe. I'm not going to go into like the notes of the different ones, but if you've smelled the the composition of number 5, and if you smell the composition of Shalimar, it's pretty much the same thing here. The difference is, and I'm going to use number 5 as an example, is you don't have any aldehydes. Actually, you get the beautiful sparkly brilliance of this fragrance very much is in the citrus. And actually, when I bought this fragrance and I had worn this fragrance, I was really excited because I was going through reviews of other people's reviews, and they were saying the same thing. I saw at least 2 or 3 of the reviews mentioning the beautiful brightness of the citrus from the citrus and not from the aldehydes. And I really think that that's something refreshingly different, but it still is sophisticated and beautiful and unique, but also very easy to understand and familiar. So kind of how I view Xerjoff as being a beautiful, fantastic house that has meticulously well blended and balanced fragrances, I also feel like this is an example of a meticulous fragrance that fits into that genre of kind of aldehydic, very mature, sexy, classic fragrances. And you guys know I really love those fragrances. So this was something that might not be as exciting as some of the other fragrances from Xerjoff, and there's definitely 1 or 2 others that I was considering getting as well, Meow being one of them. If you know me, I love citrus fragrances, but I kind of was really wanting something that was heavy on the iris. And so this one just kind of fit perfectly. The rose iris combination is probably one of the best rose iris combinations I've ever had. And that beautiful melding of all the citruses and the warmth of the vanilla and a little bit of the grassy smokiness of the vetiver really made this fragrance sing and made it the perfect choice. A lot of times if I'm looking to get myself something for a special occasion, I go back and forth about the things that I want, and I ultimately decide, and although I'm happy, I kind of think, well, what if I had gotten this other thing? I had no issues with picking out this fragrance. When I sat down and I smelled my samples and I thought about what would be appropriate to get myself for my birthday, this one just made so much sense. It's a beautiful introductory starting my collection of Xerjoff because it is something classic. It is something I'm going to wear a lot. It is easy to understand, but it's also very special. So overall, this is a beautiful classic fragrance. I love its take on using citrus rather than aldehydes to give it kind of like that fizzy ethereal brightness. I think it's absolutely ingenious and perfect. Because it is heavier on the citrus fragrance, and although it does have a really nice base of like vanilla and vetiver, and it does give it a bit of a heft to it, a bit of a weight to this fragrance, I like the fact that it doesn't last crazy long. It's not one of those like beast fragrances. It lasts on my skin about 4 to 6 hours depending on where I apply it and the type of day. I've been in the middle of summer, it's been really humid and hot, so it's been really hard for fragrances to have any decent longevity. So the fact that although this definitely isn't like a citrus fragrance, it does have a lot of citrus notes in it, which kind of like give it a little bit more of a lightweight feel to it rather than it being like a super heavy fragrance like Shalimar or Chanel No. 5. That bit of a weight that it does have in the base notes sticks to my skin and helps this fragrance last a lot longer than other fragrances that are citrusy that only last maybe 2 to 3 hours. So I get 4 to 6 hours on my skin in humid tropical summer climate. And if you guys know, 4 to 6 hours is what I hope for. So I have a feeling that if you guys live in an area that isn't so humid or isn't so hot, or maybe wear this on the more cooler months or in the evening, you'll probably get 6 to 8 hours of wear, which is really nice for this fragrance. Now the projection is another thing that I really enjoy about this fragrance as well, because sometimes with fragrances like this that are a little bit more on the classic side, like Shalimar and Chanel No. 5, most people really enjoy them and like to be around them, so this is one of the fragrances that you would want to project. And because this has the citrus notes and not so much of the aldehydes, it makes it a little bit more to understand without losing any of that sophistication. So that being said, since this is a fragrance that I would want to project, it projects beautifully. It's a little bit past arm's length. It doesn't fill a room, so it's not stifling, but it is a very attractive scent cloud. So I do like that this has a really nice sillage and a really beautiful longevity, rather than having to sacrifice one or the other for the quality of the fragrance. Because they're not using those aldehydes, because it's a citrus, I was kind of worried maybe it would be too loud, maybe it wouldn't last too long, but everything is like perfect. Like, it's absolutely perfect. It's the perfect amount of longevity, it's the perfect amount of projection, and it's the perfectly balanced fragrance, which makes this really special. And it's one I don't see too many people talking about in the fragrance community, specifically on YouTube, because a lot of people talk about Meow and a lot of people talk about the Oud Stars fragrances, and rightfully so. Those are absolutely exceptional fragrances. Richwood is one that has been on my wish list for far too long. So I'm not saying that any of those other fragrances are not worth talking about, but I did kind of want to give you guys a review on this one and have it be a little bit more comprehensive because not too many people talk about it. But it is an absolutely beautiful fragrance, and I think everything about it is like Mary Poppins, like practically perfect in every way. Though it is kind of more closer to Shalimar and Chanel No. 5, I think because a lot of people know those fragrances and appreciate those fragrances, it does make this fragrance work appropriate. Because it doesn't have those aldehydes, and sometimes people can get like tingly noses with aldehydes, and it's citrus, I think that makes this even more appropriate to wear in a professional setting. Now, for the price of this fragrance, you might not want to wear it every day, but that is completely up to you. I actually find myself wearing my more expensive fragrances more frequently, and in situations you'd be like, why are you wearing that to the grocery store? Just because it's when I want to smell the nicest, it's when I want to smell special, because I'm doing something mundane and it's the best way for me to spice up my life. So although this might be too expensive to wear for everyday work events, or your everyday work life or your class life, I think that if you wanted to, this would be appropriate and wouldn't bother anybody around you, specifically even if they had situations where fragrances kind of bothered their nose or gave them headaches. I do think this is a safe choice for the work environment. So this video is a little bit kind of talking about my birthday present to myself, but mostly it's a review on this fragrance, and it was a little bit of an unboxing. So what I'm going to do is what I always do, is kind of give you a recap at the end of the video and let you guys know my final thoughts. I think this is an absolutely beautiful classic fragrance. It definitely feels like it could fit right next to Chanel No. 5 or Shalimar, but like Chanel No. 5, it doesn't, well, in comparing it to Chanel No. 5, it doesn't have those aldehydes. It has a beautiful citrus opening that gives it kind of that airy fizzy brightness that you kind of get from aldehydic fragrances, and I don't even know if aldehydic a word, I'm sorry. Projection on this fragrance is absolutely beautiful, and what I would hope for, which is just past arm's length. It's not stifling, it's a very beautiful and attractive scent cloud that's definitely going to draw people to you. And also I think the longevity on this fragrance in my skin and my environment, I get 4 to 6 hours, but I feel like if you didn't live in a tropical climate in like 95% humidity in the middle of the summer, you could definitely get a lot longer wear time. So I do think this performs and projects, and longevity, everything about it is perfect. I do think that this is a very safe fragrance, but there is something very special about that. It's one of those fragrances where you've definitely smelled this before, but this combination and this quality is probably the best I've ever experienced, which is why I think it's really special and was what kind of drew me to get this first from Xerjoff. So that is my review of Ibitira. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you liked the unboxing and the review. If you guys have sampled or experienced this fragrance, I'd love to know what you guys think, good or bad. And other fragrances, I'd love to know what you guys love from Xerjoff as well. As always, I am definitely looking on expanding my collection. This is my first Xerjoff. I'm definitely going to get more. I definitely want to get Richwood and Neo, but if there's any others that you guys think would be fantastic, that you love, let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, if you like my videos and my fragrance videos and my fragrance reviews, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe, because it's free and I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday and sometimes on the weekends as well, so I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever, and I'll see you next time. Bye!